Hi, I'm Monty McKinnon. Thank you for joining me. I received an email from Alan Dust down in Florida who was asking a question about bending wood. Apparently he's gone back to the very beginning of my videos to look at how he could go about building a guitar and follow along in each of the videos. Great idea, Alan. Now, the thing you were asking about in the email is this puppy right here. So today I'm going to show you 3 different ways to bend wood, and it's going to be a fun video. So first, let's jump right into this big machine. First of all, I bought this. I bought it from another fellow that makes these up in Pennsylvania, and I have here a tape measure. These are not complicated to make. I used to bend all the wood by hand myself, but then when I got this machine, it saved me a lot of time. This is 15 inches in length, if you will. It runs a total of 27 inches high. This is 6 inches. This form that I bend on is 6 inches wide. This overall is 7.5 inches. This block is 2.5 inches, and up here we have 2.5, and then it comes down 2.5, and then it could come down and straight across. There's a slot in here, and this slot here can be done with a router. It looks like that's what he's used there with a guide. It could also be done by drilling a series of holes and then using a file and flattening it. That's just to allow this thing here to go down and run back and forth. Now this is an interesting little piece. This you can buy at Harbor Freight, at Princess Auto, Lee Valley. Check around. It's also available on Amazon, and they can be very expensive or they can be very reasonable. I think Amazon have them at a very reasonable price. And this is simply screwed here. Let's get this going the right way. This is simply screwed onto here. Now, this piece, this vertical piece here on the side that extends out beyond the side here, is screwed from the top, and so that's what holds that in place. Now, what I did is I made a custom mold to bend the waist of the guitar, and I'll show you that in just a minute, because what I did is I took this piece here, or one of these, put it like so, drew a pattern, and then I shaped this so that this would fit right in there nice and neat, and then this comes up into here, and it's just snug because it's not going anywhere. So when that comes down, I'm putting pressure from here onto here onto here, and that seems to do the job. Now, let me just say that to hold this in place when you're doing it, you'll see there are 2 screws on either side, right here and right here. If I can get that on there. Pretty hard without seeing it. That just ensures that this is not coming off. Nothing more than that. 2 springs to do that. And honestly, this cost me hundreds of dollars plus exchange to have it shipped to Canada. Plus I got taxed on it when it came into Canada, and I paid a lot of money for this. This is Baltic birch plywood, and it is, honestly, I could make this whole thing just as it is for less than $100. I believe it's Charles Fox, Alan, that has the website, and I may be wrong on this. I'm not sure if he wasn't the originator of this, but LMI down in California, they have a bender that you can purchase. I'm sure that StuMac does, or you can make your own based on this. Now, one other thing you need to see is here, the electrics. This is nothing more than a timer, and this is a rheostat that gives you variable heat temperatures. Now, what happens is you take this and wire it into the lower part here, which is your timer, and then you plug your heating blanket into the rheostat and then plug it into the wall, and that way you're able to control the amount of heat. Now, to be sure that you're getting the right amount of heat, I use a cooking thermometer. You can pick this up at any one of those cooking shops that are in the malls, and it's not very expensive. It's only a couple of dollars, and I just simply turn it on, put it underneath the blanket there, and when it gets up to about 200 to 250, sometimes I've gone over 300, then I'm able to bend the wood like butter. So that's the jig. This is where you get this. The hooks that you see down here, I just bought those in a local hardware store. I believe Home Depot would have that. That's just somewhere to wind this cord that I have down here to hold it down tight on either side. I want to talk about this, the mold here. So let me just move this over here, because it is much easier to do. Now, this is the pattern that I'm using. This is an OM pattern for the orchestra model guitar. I have a smaller one that I use for the size 2 Martin guitar. And what you do is you'll get yourself some 2x4, 2 feet 4 foot sheets of 3/4 inch plywood, which is what I did here. And then I simply took a pattern from a guitar, and I have some here. Very sophisticated patterns. This one's made out of cardboard, and it's 7 5/8. It's 15 1/4 long. I've gone to a size 15, so this is a little long now. It's longer than what this wood is, so I'm not really using that all that much. This is the OM, and up in here I show a cutaway, what that would look like, and that is just a tad long. That's okay. This one is made out of masonite. It is as well. Now this, by the way, is the size 2. This is a knockoff of the Martin guitar from the 1800s, the size 2, the small one. As you can see, I forget who it was. Marty Robbins used to play a small guitar like this, and I think that was a size 2. So I take that pattern and I trace it onto the plywood. I then take the plywood to the bandsaw and I cut it around on the outside of the line. I then take a flush cut bit and I run a flush cut bit. Now, on the first one that you do, like this, if I was making another jig out of this would be my template. I have taken the time to file this nice and smooth, sand it, because whatever I do, the pattern that I have here is going to become this shape. So take your time and make this nice and smooth. So that goes like that. It sits on top of the plywood that is approximately the same, underneath the plywood. And then you simply take the flush cut bit, trace it around. Now you have 2 pieces. So you do that until you end up with a width that's 6 inches. This turns out to be about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pieces of wood. And then I simply, just for sake of being able to move this around, I put a couple of pieces of the 3/4 inch plywood on the bottom here, just as a cutoff. Just put it on there, just so it makes it easy for me to do this. This is heavy. Now, this, again, is made out of Baltic birch, and this is dowel that you can get at Home Depot. And the width of this overall is 7.5 inches. We know this block is approximately 6 inches or slightly under 6 inches, so that I know this will go nice and easy and over there like so. Now, the reason for that is there's some screw nails in here that are sticking out. And these springs, these are simply a latch on the side here for pulling out a drawer, if you will. And you buy these springs at any of, the Lowe's, the Home Depots or whatever, and you put one there and you put one here. So when you have this on here, it will simply hook onto here, and that's what you're going to use to pull down over top, as you see me do. And I'll link a video. If you hang into the end of this video, you'll see how we do this in real time. I'll link up another video for you to look at. Now, on top of this, what happens is you got to have a couple of pieces of spring steel. And spring steel is exactly, you know, springs back and forth. You'd put your wood into some aluminum foil, spritz it, because you don't want it to burn. And I do it this way. I put the wood down on top of here, and then I put this on here like this. The two pieces of metal keep it from splintering and pulling apart, and the heat goes through here very quickly. And of course, as I mentioned earlier, these pull it down like so. So that's all there is to it. It's very, very straightforward. And that's one method that you can use for bending your wood. Now, I said there were three. We're going to take a look at another one here in just a second. Let's get this out of the way. Now, you're going to need this form, and if you look at this, this will fit in there absolutely perfectly. And that's what you cut this out. This then becomes this. So what you'll do is you'll take this and you'll smooth this down, you'll sand it, you'll get it all nice and smooth, and it will fit nice and snug and tight all the way around, because that's your pattern. Now, why this? Okay, the reason for this is as you heat the wood and you bend it, you can actually take it and put it right directly into this form as you're doing it. You would take your side is about 4.5, 5 inches in depth. So you will heat that. And how do you heat that? You heat that on this iron over here. Now this will heat up quite hot. It simply plugs in any 110 volt. You've got a rheostat on here at the top that you can turn to get the various levels of heat. And you, again, spritz it with water. I always keep a bottle handy. So this is just for spritzing the wood. And the reason to spritz the wood is not to bend it. The heat does that. This is so it doesn't burn. So you will heat this up, and you will take it and you will work it. You can use this, and you can use this. Now, the third and the final thing on this video that I want to show you is this. This is not a hair dryer. It's a heat gun. I bought it at one of the automotive shops. You know, you have these places that sell all the polishes and everything else. They sell these. This cost me $20 here in Canada, which means it's probably $6 in the United States. This all comes apart so that you can put your side in here and heat it and get it so it's nice and tight. And how long should your side be? You want it to exceed here, so that when you've got it all clamped in here, tight against here, you could take your saw and use a flush cut saw across here and across here, and know that when you do the same thing on the other side, the two pieces are going to line up. So you've got choices. You can use the blanket, and you can use this jig. This will take you, if you bend the sides of the, less than 5 minutes, probably 4 minutes. If you're bending it by hand, the very first guitar I did, it took me like 5 hours to bend the sides, and then less than 5 minutes on this jig. So I was really excited about buying that jig. And so I do use the heat gun. I use it on a number of occasions. Sometimes I've put something on and I don't like it. I can use the heat gun to take the fretboard off. I can use it to take the peg head off if I want to do that, or separate some wood. So it's very useful. Make sure you get yourself the thermometer and you're all set to go. So I hope that helps you in getting established. These are 3 jigs, actually 2 jigs here. I don't know, do I call this a jig? That you can use to get started making a guitar. And if I was doing it all over again, this is exactly what I would be doing. I'd be using this. So thank you for your inquiry, and I hope that helps you, Alan. And to the rest of you, thank you very much. And for those of you that have ordered the book and whatnot, thank you very much. The update is out, and it's available literally now around the world, in Germany and Italy and gosh, the UK and United States and Canada, and it's all over on Amazon now. So pick up a copy. I've had some good reviews on it, and I appreciate that. If you have a copy, please leave a review. I'd be grateful for that. And that's about it. So you know what to do. If you like this, subscribe, hit the like button and all of that kind of stuff that you do. And right now I've got another video of me bending this wood, and it's going to be located right here for you. Is it on this side? I don't know. I'm reversed. Maybe it's on this side. It's on one of these sides. You can look at it. So thanks very much. I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.